First of all, I just want to say welcome to Anambra State. Welcome to Anambra State. Anambra is a calm, organized, and honestly, is becoming one of the easiest places to live in the southeast. We have stable electricity in many areas, good road network coming up, and communities that just feel like welcoming. And one amazing thing about Anambra is that the environment is serene. So if you'll be thinking about coming back home, visiting your friends, or just reconnecting with your roots, with your ancient roots, Anambra just fits into that best place where you can just come because it beautifies everything about the East. I would also say it's like the headquarters of the East. So Anambra is that good place. So before we continue anything else, I want to tell you that Anambra is a very good place and a very good place you can stay in. So before we proceed into what we came into this video for, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Ekwulobia. I'm a real estate consultant here in Awka, Anambra State. Awka is like the capital city of Anambra State, and a founder of Victor Limited, a real estate company, a development and investment firm here in Anambra State, in which we help investors invest safely in real estate here in Nigeria, also in Anambra State precisely. And the topic of this video is key things to note before buying a property in Anambra State. So this video, just take it, is brought to you by Victory Limited, and in this video I'm going to give you the detailed key things to note of before you buy that property in Anambra State. So follow me and wait till the end of this video. Like, subscribe, and watch the end of this video. So the number one key thing you need to note before buying a property in Anambra State is you need to have a budget. Somebody say budget. You need to have a budget. Very, very important. Once you have determined your budget, this helps you determine how much you can spend comfortably without you falling for pressure buying or wasting money more than how much you are willing to spend to buy a property in Anambra State. So once you have getting your budget in place and kept it aside, the next thing we have to go into is deciding on the location you want to buy a property in Anambra State. The truth is that Anambra has so many emerging locations and so many developed locations with access to major roads, with good amenities, with good electricity, with good road network. The question you have to ask yourself is, first of all, where do I want to buy this property in Anambra State? And there are some questions you have to ask yourself some questions you have to ask yourself first before you can decide on the location you want to get that property in Anambra State. And I'll be helping you with some if you don't know. So the number one question you need to ask yourself is, where exactly did I want to purchase this property? Is it close to where you work, or is it close to where your family stays? Remember, the first one is, where do I exactly want to buy this property at? Is the place you want to buy the property at, is it close to where your family stays, or the property close to where you are working at? Also, the question again you have to ask yourself before choosing a location to buy a property in Anambra State is the area developing, or is it already developed? And that question you need to ask yourself is, what's the reason of you buying the property? Is it for living? Is it for business? Or is it for investment purposes? These are questions you need to ask yourself as an investor, as a person, before you choose on the location you want to buy the property at. As I said before, you need to ask yourself, where you want to buy the property, is it close to where you're working at? Is it close to where your family is? Is the area developed, or is it still developing? Is the place you want to buy for, the property you want to buy for, is it for your business? Is it for investment purposes? Is it for your residential purposes? So once you have answered all these questions in your head, then it brings you to deciding on the location. As I said very earlier in the beginning, that Anambra is not like a compressed state that has only few locations as their top emerging locations. Anambra has places like Nnewi, Ekwulobia, Onitsha, Abata and Sube, Mabaka Housing, Awka. We have Indi Kolon, we have Ebenebe, we have Amansi. There are many key locations in Anambra State. But until you answer those questions I've told you about, it then helps you determine which place fits into where you want to buy a property in Anambra State. So if you come to investment wise, there are very key important locations you can invest your money in. If you want land banking, the main locations in Anambra State. We have where you have the Awka 2.0, the Ekwulobia side. We have the Obo family. We have the Ebenebe side. There are many places that are good for investment purposes. You have Mbako, where properties are still like 2, 3, 4 million naira in Anambra State. So there are many emerging locations in Anambra State, but once you have answered those questions I told you about, it then helps you determine the location you want to get a property at. Going forward, the third key thing you have to know before buying a property in Anambra State is getting the services of a reliable real estate consultant, a certified one. In Anambra State, there are many people who call agent. Almost everybody is an agent. Ready to dupe somebody millions of naira for their own pleasure. So, but first of all, you have to get the services of a real estate consultant. Me, I'm a real estate consultant at Victory Limited. Even though I'm the founder, but I started as a real estate consultant. It gave me the privilege to understand the background check or how things are being run in Anambra State real estate market, and things to avoid, scams to avoid, and how to perform my own due diligence. So, as someone looking to invest in the Anambra State market, you need to get the services of someone who knows how real estate is known in Anambra State. A real estate consultant in Enugu, in Owerri, in Imo, in Lagos, in Abuja might not understand how real estate is being run in Anambra State. But when you have the services or hire the services of a certified real estate consultant, they give you information on the main title document that comes with the property, like where you can complete your due diligence, key emerging locations where you can buy a property in Anambra State. Once you've gotten the services of a real estate consultant, the next thing you have to note of is you have to conduct your personal due diligence of a property before you make any payment, whether it be instrumental payment or outright payment. Whether it be instrumental payment or outright payment, it's very important as a person, as an investor, as a client, to conduct your own personal due diligence on a property before investing in it, before buying it. So I once had this client reach out to me and my company, that he has a property for sale behind the ICC Convention Center here in Anambra State. And you know, ICC Convention Center, almost a plot of land there is close to 50 to 60 million naira. So he told me he has some few properties he wished to sell. He wished to sell there. So I asked all necessary questions, the title status of the land, like chain of ownership, all necessary questions the real estate consultant is supposed to ask. As I told you previously, why you have to consider having a real estate consultant, because it's a real estate consultant in ground that helps you understand questions relating to Anambra land status or property acquisition status, that can help you ask necessary questions about how the property you want to buy is. So after asking necessary questions, you don't tell me what next. You tell me, sir, you have to give me some time, because even though you've showed me the papers, I've taken screenshot or I've taken photos of it, I still have to conduct my own personal due diligence. Honestly, I'm taking time in this video to explain it. It's very, very important. Many investors, many people have lost money because they didn't do their own personal due diligence. So you might also say, oh, I'm using the service of a real estate consultant. Why then should I still go ahead to do my own personal due diligence? In next upcoming video, I'll be discussing on necessary questions you need to ask in a time of due diligence to be sure that that property is actually genuine and also legal to be sold. So once you've done your complete due diligence, it's very important for making any payment. You can proceed to next, which is making payment for the property. If you like the property, it actually gives you what you want. When we decided on the emerging locations, whether it fits into what you want, is it the investment purposes or business or what you want to live into. So once you've done your complete due diligence, then you can actually pay for the property. So after doing those things, the next thing you have to do is very, very important. You need to get your documents. I've been in the real estate industry for long, that I've seen that most times most people don't buy from direct clients or single client. They buy from real estate companies. So I've seen this mistake a lot of times because I remember that my first client that bought a property from me in Asaba, he told me that he wants to buy a plot of land. After buying a plot of land, most times the real estate company won't tell you that, the plot of the land here is 1.5 million naira, then the documentation fee is 300K. So most times clients just prefer to just pay 1.5 million naira for the land. And later, if they have one, they pay for the 300K. So I still understand why will you choose to eat bread and tea and leave out the bread? Why not just take the bread and tea once? Why taking only the tea? So it's very important that you pay for necessary things. So once you've done your complete due diligence and pay for the property, because when you pay for the property means that the due diligence in the property since that the property is genuine. I have done all background checks to prove that this property you want to buy in Anambra State is really genuine. And you've already paid. Next thing you need to do is to get your documents. Don't go paying for only the land and leaving the documentation fee aside, because that document satisfies you as legal ownership of that property, because without any title document, there's no transfer of ownership of that property to you. So the next coming is, how do you defend yourself that, this property actually, and most times real estate companies don't stay for long because of lack of system and structure. So how do you then say, okay, maybe next 2 years I'll buy it for a document? So you're actually fooling yourself, because by that time the prices of documentation will actually be higher than how it is, because inflation plays a lot of matter. Because over time to do a research survey plan that time was actually like 150K, but now it's 250 to 300K for research survey plan, depending on the surveyor you're working with. So it actually depends. So once you have done this, you have to get your documents. It's very important to get your documents. So you collecting your documents are one key things you have to consider, because many people will just pay for properties and they just give you a seat and you just face your friends and start going and say, oh yes, I finally invested in Anambra State, which is a very bad thing to do. So after considering all these processes, after considering all these steps, another key things you have to take note is, you have to, once you have gotten that properties and got your documents, I always advise my clients to start a dual fence on that property, get allocated and start a dual fence. So the next key things you have to take note of is getting allocated, which is many problems Anambra investors have complained about investing in Anambra State. They get properties from some real estate companies 2 years, 3 years, not getting allocated. And you get this problem when you don't do your proper due diligence well, and when you don't involve the services of a real estate consultant. Let me explain. When you use the service of a real estate consultant, the real estate consultant knows that, these locations you want to buy property at. Okay, let me check which real estate companies have properties there. Once they check, they already know which companies give allocation and which property their property is genuine, if they are doing their own property diligence 100%. So if you now as an investor just see what you're seeing online and just go and pay for the property without asking some questions on how many months is the allocation process, do you guys do allocation? You find yourself being worried after even getting your documents. You're still wondering, when will you guys allocate me my property? And most times, there's always allocation issues, because the real estate companies who acquire that property, maybe from communities of an individual, have not fully paid the huge amount of money for that properties, and they cannot allocate you properties when they're not fully paying for it. So that is one question that also is asked. How long does allocation start? Is that instant allocation? Many people say instant allocations in their flyers just for marketing purposes, but all these questions can be done or answered through the hiring of real estate consultants who knows more about Anambra real estate companies and Anambra real estate market, and how the Anambra real estate companies operate in Anambra State, and knows who company they have to bring their client to buy property, the company that always deliver. So these are things you have to take note of. So while considering on things you have to buy, key things you have to take note of before you buy a property is the allocation process. You need to get allocated. So once you've gotten allocated, I always advise my clients and investors to start a reference, even though you start something on the property. It helps you, even in your mind, feels that, oh yes, I have something on my property that even next 5 years to come, yes, I can come back to a 12 fence of my land and also start looking for oh, let me call a surveyor to come and pick up where my plot is. So it's very easy like that. So these are key things you have to consider before buying a property. As I said from the beginning, is your budget. Number two is deciding on your location. Number three is the service of a real estate consultant. Number four, which is conducting of your due diligence. Number five is process of making payments. Questions to ask while making payments. Other questions, other hidden charges of payments you have to still make. And number five is getting your number six, which is getting your document. And number seven, which is getting allocated and starting a difference. So once you put all these things into consideration before acquiring a property, it gives you that edge that, oh yes, I'm taking the rightful steps in acquiring a property. So once you apply all these things, I'm telling you that 100% you're free from getting scammed while trying to invest in Anambra State. So I would like you, as a form of appreciation, to help me subscribe, because more videos like this are going to be coming into to you. So thank you for watching me to the end, and I pray that God blesses you and you take the rightful steps and consider these key things I've said in this video before buying a property, which is very important. Is conducting your own personal due diligence. Conducting your own personal due. Very, very important. If you did not pick anything in this video, consider doing your own personal due. It's very important for me. Thank you. See you on the next one. Thank you.